Hello, welcome to part two of this lecture. Uh, we continue discussing the theme of project management, and this time we focus on managing people. People are really your most important asset in an organization or a team. They can make or break the whole thing. So one of the essential tasks of a project manager of any kind, software or otherwise, is to be managing those people as well. In addition to all the functions and the responsibilities that we've mentioned earlier, you need to be focusing on people, people-oriented, from recruiting to informing and training them, of keeping them informed, of structuring the tasks for them, allocating tasks for them, organizing, scheduling them, and motivating them most importantly. So unless you really understand people and you know how to deal with people, your task is not going to be very easy nor successful. Uh, Poor people management is maybe the number one contributor to project failures, yeah, because the managers fail to pay enough attention to people, and they can just break anything, any project or any endeavor if you're not if you don't have them on board. Okay, so some important factors for managing people. You need to be consistent. Be consistent in your directives, in the way you organize things, and the way you treat people, balanced and fair. You need to treat them with respect. Each and every member of staff need to feel that they are respected and they are valued. You must understand that people come with different skills, with different moods, with different personalities, with different personality traits, and so on and so forth. You need to respect this variety. You need to respect those types of people, and not just the ones who are most like you. Yeah, not people who are like you, but everybody else. And your skill is to bring up those talents on board. People have different talents. They are all useful in their own ways and at their own moments in time. You need to include people. Yeah, stay away from el shilaleya, yeah? The little cliques and the little in-groups who feel advantaged, and as a result, everybody else who's not in that small clique feels disadvantaged, feel like an underdog or second-class citizen. You don't want that. You want to involve all team members in equally, at least, yeah, if not in every decision you make. You need to involve in equal measure. As much as possible, try to include them in everything. They will feel more ownership and more belonging to the task or the project that you're trying to promote, and make sure that people's views are considered. Again, one of the great reasons for people's dissatisfaction and henceforth project failure is that they feel ignored. They feel that they're not valued. Their views are not considered, are brushed aside. Yeah, so you need to pay a good amount of attention to that. You also need to be honest and fair. Yeah, you should always be honest about what is going on. Don't lie to your people. Don't be insincere. Don't be dishonest. People are invariably very good at detecting insincerity and dishonesty. Even if you manage to pull the wool over their eyes, as they say, and they believe you, and you know, you're not being honest with them, at some point later they will find out, and then you will lose all credibility. You'll have no asset with them, and they will no longer trust you. And trusting the leader or the team manager is really very important. So you need to be honest with your team about what's going on well, what are the future plans, how any plans might affect them. You need to tell them if something is going badly and what you're doing about it. Motivating people is really very important. Yeah, I mean, really one of the the single most important aspect in dealing with people in the team is to be able to motivate them. You need to get them interested. You need to get them to feel they have a stake in what's going on, and they will be benefiting or they will be harmed if things don't go right. You need to have them on board. You need to have them belong to the project you're managing. So one of the most important roles you have as a manager is to motivate people to work on a project, to give you their best, to go the extra mile. Motivation means organizing the work as well, and the work environment, so that people are encouraged to work effectively and give their best. Because if they don't, they won't be interested in the work. They'll just be marking time, letting things go, just interested in the paycheck at the end of the month, and that's it, without really putting their heart in it. If people are really motivated, then maybe they would warn you when an adverse event is like to arise that you don't know about. Yeah, even though it might sort of shake the image a bit. or credibility or whatever, but they still put the work number one. They put the task in hand and the project number one. People also, if they're not interested in the work, they might do it without paying enough attention. They might make mistakes. They might be sloppy, produce things at low quality. Even if they're reviewers, the reviewers themselves might be sloppy, and they actually get errors and bugs and quality issues sneaking into the final product that you deliver to your clients. So you need to motivate people so that they contribute more strongly to the broader goals of the team and the organization, not just themselves. However, motivation is a complex issue. There's a number of interacting elements in it, but one classification is that we can actually classify factors of motivation into different types, like basic needs. Like we all have our own physiology as humans. We need to eat, we need to drink, we need to sleep, we need to get some rest. So these are the basic needs that everybody needs, regardless of what they do and what motivates them. Then there are personal needs or psychological needs, like feeling respected, feeling esteemed, appreciated, and stuff like that. And then there's a social need, which is to be valued and appreciated by members of the group or your peers. One very important, or very sort of famous theory about motivation is that of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Abraham Maslow. And he basically organized things in a pyramid, such that, and the theory is that people would first want to satisfy their physiological needs, eating, drinking, breathing, stuff like that. And then the safety needs, they need to feel safe, and in that order. And once they're safe, they need to realize the social needs, being accepted in group and stuff like that, appreciated, and then they need to be esteemed. They feel like everybody respects them, really respects them, not just accept them, but values them in a certain way. And then the self-actualization or self-realization needs, like feeling the feeling of being sort of distinguished, or feeling that they've achieved something important, feeling realized is the point here. Obviously, the theory was that people proceed in this sort of hierarchy, so you would not, human being would not want to bother too much with self-actualization or self-realization needs if the safety needs are not satisfied first. Yeah, so the theory is that the satisfaction goes in that direction, but actually this is not necessarily the case. As I said, motivation, human motivation in particular, is very, very complex, and people might actually go for one higher layer of the pyramid than the bottom one, because humans are extremely complex creatures. So, and the software development groups, some of it in this text claims that the basic physiological and safety needs are not an issue, because normally people who have reached the point of being a software engineer would have had their physiological and safety needs already realized. Like we live in the city, you can walk in the city, you can drive in the city, you feel safe. So it's not something that the manager needs to exactly be working on. But if so happens at some point that this need is threatened or is not satisfied, then obviously it will be a great distraction. Yeah, could be like fire safety, for example. This is an aspect of safety. If the workplace is not fire safe, or if there's a risk of being electrocuted or being ill or falling and having an accident, then obviously this would be a great demotivator and a negative point here. But assuming that these needs are already in place and satisfied, then we have the social needs. Yeah, people need to feel members of a group. Yeah, we need to belong to a group. So therefore, in the workplace, we need to provide for communal facilities, maybe a coffee room, lounge where they can sort of rest and chat informally. And by the way, this is highly recommended for triggering good ideas. I recommend it for even motivation and promoting motivation in organizations. You have a communal facility like a coffee room, you can informally relax and chat and generate ideas through talking amongst themselves. Okay. Esteem, recognition of achievements, praise people, yeah, give maybe awards or certificates or monthly software engineer of the month or something like that. It could rotate, but everyone needs at some point that their achievements and their contributions are being are being recognized. So this is really very important. It's really very badly demotivating if people feel that they're doing a lot of work, they're putting a lot in over and above the call of duty, as they say, and that this extra effort is not being appreciated or recognized. Now, self-realization is like realizing your potential, really. Yeah, achieving your best potential or near your best potential. Human beings are extremely capable. You need to grow them. You need to invest in them. You need to give them training because they want to learn. They want to further their careers. They want to develop their skills. You need to give them opportunities for that. And some people sometimes change organizations because this aspect is lacking, or to go to a better place that actually opens a career path for them. People will reward you back mostly if you give them the assurance that you actually care about their career path and their personal development. And also you need to give them responsibility. You cannot be too centralized such that every member of the team has to come back to the manager for all sorts of decisions. That's not very good. Okay, so there's a case study here that I'd like you to read about individual motivation. I'd like you to read that carefully, please, and look at the comments on the case study about what's actually happening here. There's a problem about the nature of work that's being given, and people being dissatisfied, and the motivation being affected, and some things that can be done to get around that. So I'll leave that for you to read. One very important thing is one major mistake managers make is that they tend to praise or accept or approve of people who are like them, or look like them, not in terms of how they look, but in terms of their personality types, their mood, the style of interaction, the personality type. That's not a good idea. You need to appreciate and value different personality types, and the fact that this is actually a good thing for you in the development team. So if someone is good at spotting errors and seems to be overcritical or hypercritical, he or she is actually an asset that you need to exploit, you need to build upon. Yeah, you need to leverage, for example, make sure you include them in review boards or in inspections. Maybe train them as an inspector, because some people are talented in that they can spot errors and missing things very quickly. You may call it a disadvantage, or whether in a setting like this where we actually actively look for errors, it becomes a plus. You need to exploit that. So personality traits and habits and talents, the different ones are actually an asset for you that you need to leverage. In terms of personality types, people are different in terms of personalities and attitudes as well. So some people are by nature task-oriented. They just focus very much on the task in hand. For them, the number one consideration is to get the job done. Yeah. So they're highly motivated by the work they do. Yeah. Okay. And there are people who are interaction oriented. They enjoy, the most thing they enjoy about doing a job is the presence of people around them and interacting with them. Yeah. So this is just what motivates them. I'm a bit like that. I'm a team worker. I like to work with teams. I like to interact with people. This really gets me going. So you need to spot those kinds of people and make sure they contribute in a way that is appropriate to their personality or attitude type. And then there's self-oriented people who are principally motivated by personal success and recognition and gains. Again, not a bad thing. You can, again, dish out the appropriate type of motivation for them. Yeah. Again, they're not hopeless, and they're not like selfish and khalas, forget them. No, even them, if you set up schemes like competitions and awards and stuff like that, then they might go for this. And this is really highly motivating for them if we get that kind of recognition. So you need to train yourselves to identify and spot personality types and talents as well. Personality types are not the same as talents, of course, but I've been talking about them at the same time almost. Talents is like natural sort of gifts. I'm not a great believer in talent myself. I think you can train almost anybody to do anything. Obviously, some people will learn things faster than others because they have a little bit of talent, but I think talent is overrated in our society. And you can always bring people around to train them to acquire new skills if they are motivated to acquire those new skills. Okay, so abilities and talents you can usually help develop and cultivate further. Okay, so the task-oriented is motivated by the work itself. Self-oriented is, for him, the work is a means to an end. They do the work because they want recognition at the end of it. They want a sense of achievement. For example, achievement of individual goals. So maybe they want to get rich, they want to get promoted, they want to become managers, they want to travel, etc. It's something about themselves. But for the interaction-oriented people, the best motivation is presence actions with each other, as I said, and people, and therefore people go to work because they like being with people and being in a team and talking and interacting with other people. So, to motivate people, you need to think about a balance of elements in each of these classes, because again, it's not the fact that everyone is only one type of personality and this is the only thing that motivates them. It's a balance of things again. So all of us can be motivated by the team, can be motivated at the same time by the achievement of personal goals, and they can be motivated by communicating, interacting with fellows in the same team. They're not against each other, but find the balance is different for each individual. So if I say someone is task-oriented, doesn't mean that the self-orientation or interaction orientation is nil or zero, but it's just that this is the dominant type of orientation. Therefore, predominantly they will be motivated by task-related motivators. So we need to balance things, balance the motivations between these type of classes of motivators, if you like. So the balance can change depending on each individual needs. Yeah. So if someone is more interaction oriented, so you need to give them more opportunities to interact with others. Or you can start off with trying to balance all three, and then you observe to see which type of motivation has the greater effect, or which one draws more people to them, or for each member of staff, what sort of motivation is better for them or attracts them more, so you can actually give that particular person the type of motivation that is predominant in their personal attitudes towards work. Okay, so right, the next bit is about teamwork. I'm not really gonna give a lecture on it here. You can read the slides. I'm sure you'd have come across lots of training and lots of stuff about teamwork, and if you read the slides, there's stuff here about allocating roles and organizing the team and motivating the team. And there's one thing that doesn't come up here very clearly, which is that again, in any team, you'd like to get different types of personality. There's the visionary, there's the pacer, there's the provider. So try to get a mix of talents and types of people contribute to the team, and try to harmonize them together, make them work in harmony and unison to actually achieve the goals of the entire team. It's more of an artwork, to be honest. There's a skill to it, and you need to again train yourself to be, one, a good team worker, and two, a good team leader. So again, there's another. If you read the slides, there's another case study that sort of gives you some real life situation that you can look at, and then some notes on how people can be effective in a team. But as I said, I'm just not going to go through all of that. I'll leave you to read these slides, and I'll stop here, and I'll see you online, inshallah. Take care. Thank you for listening.